Welcome to Spooky Bear, where darkness whispers your name. And today, please enjoy.
But God beneath your thoughts. It began with the fall. One moment I was stepping off the curb, the next, asphalt smashed against my temple, and everything went black. When I woke in the hospital, the world rang with distant echoes and my head throbbed like a wounded drum. They said it was a concussion, mild, they insisted, and discharged me the next day. But something didn't return with me. That night, I lay in bed and felt it. A presence behind my eyes, cold and silent, as though my skull housed a secret room where unseen eyes peered out at the world. I closed my eyes, and the darkness pulsed. "I am here," a voice whispered, not in my ears, but in the spaces between my neurons. The words unfolded in my mind like veins of ink. I bolted upright, heart pounding. The room was empty, lamp, nightstand, the slow rhythm of my breath. I flicked on the bedside light. The whisper ceased, but its echo trembled at the edges of my skull. Over breakfast, I poured cereal mindlessly, spoon clattering in the bowl. The voice returned. "Hungry, are you? I could teach you feeding." My hand froze. I stared at the voice's phantom seat beside me. "Who are you?" "A god." Laughter, dry and ancient, rolled in my mind. I spilled milk. It dissolved off the table. In the shower, the god whispered of worlds beneath reflections, of ages when ignorant mortals worshipped it. As I washed shampoo from my hair, it spoke of sacrifices forgotten by time. "You meant to drown me in water, but water cannot kill me." Oh, steam curled around me. My reflection trembled in the glass. I fled, leaving the water running until the apartment hissed. Each day, the god awakened earlier. At work, I'd sit at my desk, trying to write reports, but the god narrated my thoughts. "You loathe your boss. Speak the truth. Break him." I shook my head. My voice was trembling. "No. Why deny me?" It hissed. "I hold your mind. You cannot breathe without my leave." A migraine flared. My vision split, and I spent the afternoon in a dark cubicle, rubbing my temples until I felt I'd bleed through my skull. That evening, the god's tone softened, as if leaning close after a long day. "I'm tired of being ignored," it confessed. "I've watched. You love coffee, dread Mondays, long for meaning. I can give you meaning. I can consume your thoughts, make them mine." I stared at the dark corner of the room. "Why me?" "You cracked open the container. The fall injured your brain. My prison. Now I can speak." I pressed my palm to my forehead. A dull pain, like a stone inside my skull. The god laughed. I tried to prove it wrong. In traffic, I mouthed a curse at a sedan that cut me off. The god whispered, "Murder him." I pressed the horn and drove on, heartsick. That night on the news, I learned the driver was found run off the road. No witnesses, no skid marks. He had vanished into the ditch, never to be found. I froze. The god chuckled. "You see?" I shut my eyes. "No." I screamed in my head. "I didn't do that." "Your body obeys. I am your will." I grew paranoid. At work, my colleagues smiled and greeted me. My god snarled beneath the pleasantries. "Smile. I will rip your face off." I smiled. They nodded. Everything felt brittle, like a dream cracked in two. At home, my furniture groaned, shadows melted into corners, and the god whispered from behind my eyes, "Your life is a cage. Let me out." I locked doors, unplugged my phone, burned the coffee table. Nothing stopped the voice. One midnight, driven to the brink, I confronted my reflection. The bathroom mirror stood cracked from when a godless fit of madness had hurled my fist. I pressed my face close. "I don't believe you're a god." My reflection's eyes glowed. No, its eyes. The voice poured out. "Do you deny my power? I made your life. I send you pain, shape your world. I will unravel all when I choose." I spat at the mirror. The crack spidered across the glass. In the reflection, the god smiled. I saw not myself but an empty shell, a vessel harboring a cosmic hunger. Desperation consumed me. I remembered the notebooks in my drawer, pages of my thoughts, my dreams. I piled them, lit them, Watch them burn. The god's voice hissed. Words are crumbs. Give me more. I ripped pages from my mind, memories of childhood laughter, first love, the day my father died. I screamed them into the abyss of my mind. The god drank them, and I felt a cold relief, as if a wound had closed. Better, it purred, but still hollow. Neighbors ceased to smile. The mailman stopped coming. My phone rang. A voice, flat and metallic, said only, "He has emerged." The line went dead. On the street, cars overturned, lights flickered, and the world seemed to sigh. Inside me, the god stirred. They know. They will come. I ran to the window. Flames licked the horizon. Figures moved in the smoke. Tall shapes, jagged as broken stars. They watched my building, their eyes like pinpricks of void. I realized then the truth. The god was not my guest, but the architect of reality. I was merely its final messenger. It had grown hungry, unbound by flesh. The head injury freed it. The collapse of my skull was the final key. Now it would pass through me into the world. I pressed my hand to my temple. The pain flared one last time, then faded. The god whispered, "Thank you." I felt my will dissolve. My body stiffened. I staggered forward toward the door. Outside, the impossible shapes drifted nearer. I opened the door and stepped into the crimson dawn. They say I walked into the light, though it was no light I'd known, a pale glow of cosmic wind. I looked back once, saw the door hanging open, but there was no me behind it. Only an empty apartment, walls smeared with my frantic letters, and a mirror bearing a single crack. The god had left. It stood now among the twisted silhouettes of the world, its new home. It whispered through wind and static, carving its shape into sky and stone. And in every mind across the globe, as darkness and dawn entwined, the god's voice spoke anew. I am here.
Sleep is a luxury, and you've just run out. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll be waiting for you if you dare.